We are live.
Hello, everyone. I welcome you to today's webinar on unlocking the selection process, a stepping stone on your B-School journey. Allow me to introduce today's speaker, Professor Dr. Nitin Gupta. Dr. Gupta is having nearly 2 decades of national and international teaching and research experience in the area of marketing. He, having taught MBA, Executive MBA, and doctoral level students in India, he has also taught graduate and postgraduate level students in France, Germany, Austria, and UAE. He has taken many sessions for faculty members and mid-level executives in various faculty development programs and management development programs. Over to you, Nitin, sir.
Thank you very much, Athar, for the kind introduction. Hello, everyone. I am Nitin Gupta. I'm a professor of marketing at IMT Hyderabad, and I would be sharing my slides. And let me give the presentation. And in case there are any questions, I would handle them at the end. So here we go. Let me just share the screen, please. Athar, are you able to see my slides?
Yes, sir, we can see your slides.
Okay, all right. So are my slides visible on the screen to the students?
Yes, sir, they are visible.
Okay, all right, great. So I am in the presentation mode, but I believe, yeah, the slides are now in presentation mode. So, right, hello, everyone. Today, we all are here to talk about unlocking the selection process, stepping stone to your respective B school. And I can understand with the, the B school admission session coming in, how much anxiety all the students have. So here I am, hopefully I would be addressing few of the things which are running through your mind. And please let me know in case anything that you want further and you want any further queries or have any details to what I'm going to say. So friends, what are B schools looking for? So today, a B school, if you can see in the picture which is there in front of you, it's like an enabler which helps you to enhance your career. So you are at a particular level, you are ambitious, you are capable, but can this particular career be further enhanced? Can you be taken to a level which would further enhance your capabilities, and you can show your particular capabilities to a wider range of audience and fulfill your dreams and ambitions? So a B school, any good B school, that is what they are looking for. They are looking for such students who are motivated to work. So if I go into specifics, what B schools are looking for, first and foremost, obviously, friends, whether we like it or not, or whether we consider it to be fair or not, it's the good academic aptitude. Most of the students that come to us, especially in the B schools in India, many of them are freshers. So there is no other way to understand how good or bad they are unless and until we go through their particular academic report. So some of you might be saying, sir, my academic report is not showing my true potential. We completely agree to it. But if your academic record is not very good, then obviously you have to convince the interviewer why you have not performed so well in your academics, and what are you doing to improve your academic. So good academic record, one of the things, but again, not the only thing. Okay, please keep that in mind. Diverse backgrounds. Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening is that our B schools are focusing more and more on, people from different backgrounds. Currently, what was happening, or rather, I should say 5 years ago, what many of the top B schools realized, that most of the classes comprised of engineers and male students. So we were not having that level of diverse background. Now, MBA being a social science, if we have people from diverse background, we can have multiple opinions. People can come, people can discuss, and the varied their background, the better the discussion and the more effective the discussion would be. So now all the B schools are looking for the diverse backgrounds. They are looking beyond the engineering students. They are looking beyond just having young men in the classroom. So we are inviting any capable person from any particular stream to be a part of our B school journey. Moving on further, friends, work experience. Yeah, if you have work experience. Now, why I say if you have, because unlike in many of the good B schools abroad, I've already told you in Indian B schools, many students are freshers. They are directly applying to a B school once they have completed their graduation. Now, the graduation could be in an engineering stream or in a non-engineering stream, but that's what happens. So for them, generally, we lay emphasis on their academic background and how their academic performance has been through so far, as well as how much domain knowledge do they have. But people who have got work experience, obviously, we are interested in what type of work you have done. So specifically, let's say you have done a work in your family business, and you are not able to convince us that, okay, some substantial contribution has been done, then we would not maybe consider that particular work experience as a valid work experience. So, what if, I mean, many college students have asked me, what should be the minimum duration of a work experience? See, generally, we consider a work experience to start after you have completed 1 year, because a few months of work experience, we really don't know how much experience you have garnered. So depending upon the student, depending upon the type of work, but generally a safe bet would be if you want to claim work experience is 1 year and above. Moving on further, ladies and gentlemen, extracurricular activities. Now, why do we emphasize on extracurricular activities? Extracurricular activity shows us what sort of personality you are. Are you a well-rounded personality? Are you go beyond your work and beyond the studies? Do you have varied interests? Because a successful manager needs to have varied interests. I mean, if you go to the background of many of the leading CEOs around us, they have got interest as varied as painting, traveling. Many of them are marathon runners, so on and so forth. So extracurricular activities tell us how well-rounded person you are. Here, I would like to put in a word of caution. If truly you are good in extracurricular activities, only then emphasize on it. Just for the sake of it, please do not put it in that particular application, because in the interview, if you are not a very good person as far as a well-rounded personality is concerned, the interviewer can easily find it out. So don't fake it. If you have been good in extracurricular activities, definitely we would like to hear more about it at the interview time. A balanced personality. Now, why do we require a balanced personality, friends? Obviously, we are training you for a job in the corporate world. And anyone can tell you that the job in the corporate world is highly stress-oriented. In this stress-oriented job, we want people who can, reasonably accommodate stress and perform under stress, and they can balance their personal and professional life. So are you able to do it? Are you willing to put in equal effort in your professional life, in your academic advancement, as well as not let it to overshadow your personal life? Because that is what is required. And if anybody says that after a certain point of time, all your stress will be taken, so on and so forth, I think they're just trying to make you feel good, because stress only increases the more you progress in your career. So a balanced personality is a type of entity which really is an ideal person for today's corporate world, because corporate world is full of stress, full of uncertainties, and you have to bear all these things and move on and fulfill the tasks given to you. Moving on further, friends, find strong managerial potential. Now, further, as we go on into this presentation, I will tell you what exactly specifically are these strong managerial potentials. So a good manager obviously should be a people's person. A good manager should be a level-headed person. A good manager, besides having a good IQ, intelligent quotient, should also have good emotional quotient. All these things we try to assess. And through your background, we try to get a glimpse of whether you are the right fit for the particular B school which we are representing. Now, moving on further, as I've told you, friends, in case there are any doubts, any queries, I would be more than happy to answer them. But let me finish this presentation, and you would have adequate time to discuss your queries with me. Okay, so I'm moving on forward. I'm going to the next slide. Now, coming to the various tests that are used by the various B schools in order to assess the right fit candidate. So one of such tests is the critical thinking test. Now, what is this critical thinking test? As you can see, it is trying to assess your ability to logically analyze what all assumptions can you take. Are your arguments logical enough? What all deductions have you been able to do with respect to all the information that you have? See, till the time a raw data is not analyzed, it's just a raw data. Our analysis makes it a useful information, and that's what helps in deductions. Inferences and interpreting information are all part of that. So critical thinking would be giving you a situation and trying to understand how do you present your views in that particular thing. So how should I tackle this whole task of critical thinking? Now, here's one way of going through it. On your screen, I believe you can see the critical thinking skills, which if you're not able to see, they're just going to come in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. So these critical thinking skills start with analysis. So you are required to analyze the situation. First and foremost, now in order to analyze the situation, I should have basic background on what the situation seems to be indicating towards. And for that, I have to be a voracious reader. Voracious reader of what? Voracious reader of newspapers, magazines, anything which can tell me about what's happening around the world. Then, if you have a good analytical ability, can you communicate it adequately? The more grammatical mistakes that you make, ladies and gentlemen, the more it is going to put off the assessor from your particular submission. Creativity. Now, can you do what is called out-of-box thinking? Now, obviously, we are not looking for highly unrealistic creative solutions, solutions that do not have any sense, but we are looking for solutions which might be innovative. And that is where the creativity comes in. Open-mindedness. Let's say you get a particular topic which which goes against your staunch beliefs and feelings. How open are you to accommodate something which doesn't align with your thoughts and patterns? So open-mindedness is also very, very important, ladies and gentlemen, because open-mindedness tells me whether I am open to different types of scenarios, whether they gel with my own thinking or not. And they are a very important aspect in today's managerial scenario, because today you are not only going to manage people maybe in India, you have to manage people beyond India. And open-mindedness is required for that. Problem solving. Ultimately, what are we trying to test? All these things, do they lead you to solve a particular problem, to give an adequate solution to a given problem? Now, that's what is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Managers are supposed to deal with problems day in and day out. And when they deal with problems day in and day out, they have to have the ability to solve those problems. So all these things are assessed in the critical thinking test. So any queries, I would be answering at the end. Let me go on to the next type of test which are there, which many of the other B schools use. This is group exercise. So what is group exercise, ladies and gentlemen? Group exercise is defined as activities where a defined group of individuals need to perform a defined task and accomplish a goal assigned to them. Now, when I say that they need to fulfill a particular task and fulfill the goal assigned to them in a group, we are trying to test what? We are trying to test, you might be individually brilliant, but are you a group player? In today's dynamic environment, it is very, very important for people, for employees, for professionals to be a team player, because you have to work in team. The problems cannot be solved by an individual, but it requires a complete team to basically address a problem. So this is what is being assessed when we are giving you a group exercise. How you should deal in a group exercise. So what are we testing when we are trying to give you a group exercise? A group exercise can be, okay, we ask you as a group, basically create an idle bus stop. Okay, as simple as that. So you as a group discuss. So we are going to give you various props, in the sense we are going to give you chart papers, sketch pens, pictures, etc. Using all of them, you present a solution that how an ideal bus stop can be. Now, an ideal bus stop can be, it should be accessible to people with special needs. An ideal bus stop should protect people from harsh weather, so on and so forth. So how are you able to depict it? So basically, in group exercise, we are trying to see how well you are able to partner with other people. Are you good at consultation, or you would like to always dominate? Because consultation and domination are two different things, ladies and gentlemen. Consultation is I am open to hear other people's views, and dominance is I would like people, or I would like to enforce my views on the other people. So, do you have a consultative approach? Do you take other participants as your partner? Uh, do you believe in engaging everyone to come up to the solution? So all these things are assessed in the group exercise. Moving on further, ladies and gentlemen, then psychometric test. So the name sounds very heavy. It is like, I mean, many people get nervous by hearing just the name, the psychometric test. Nothing to be nervous about. It's a very simple and elementary test. So what does the psychometric test does? Psychometric tests helps the evaluators to assess the students' strengths and weaknesses through a set of simple questions or queries. So we as an assessor, we give you a set of some simple questions, queries, etc. And we try to understand what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. So things which are used in psychometric tests. So there are multiple types of psychometric tests. I'm just going to give you a glimpse of few of these psychometric tests. So various types of psychometric tests that you might encounter while your selection process in a good B school. It can be either numerical reasoning based, it can be either verbal reasoning, inductive reasoning, diagrammatic reasoning, logical reasoning, or error checking. Now, these particular psychometric tests, I mean, they will, let's say, just to give you a simple example, they give you a numerical pattern. And then at the end, they ask you, okay, considering the pattern which is there already in front of you, what number should come next? And they might give you 4 or 5 choices. So all these tests basically enable us to understand a student's basic analytical skills. Verbal reasoning is also a part of it. You might be given a paragraph and maybe asked certain questions about it. Logical reasoning, a particular puzzle is there in front of you, and we would like to assess how well are you able to use your logic in order to come to a solution. So all these simple tests are used in order to determine our students' strengths and weaknesses. Moving on further, ladies and gentlemen, now coming to one of the most popular tools. So all the tests that we have seen so far, some of the B schools use it, some of the B schools do not use it, but I am sure that any good B school would definitely use interview as an assessment tool. And why is interview used as an assessment tool? Because interview gives us evaluators a whole lot of information what we are trying to assess from a given candidate. So what sort of information are we looking for, ladies and gentlemen? Domain knowledge. So first and foremost, we, as I told you, get many of the students who are freshers. We would like to know how, see, your report card or your grade sheet tells us only one bit of the information. A grade, having an A grade doesn't mean anything if the student's knowledge domain is weak. So we are going to check your knowledge domain. And if we hear an answer like, oh, sir, it's been more than 6 months, I read it and I've forgotten it, that doesn't sound very well. So you have to be very careful about revising your domain knowledge before appearing for a B school interview. Then, friends, articulation. How well are you able to express your thoughts? This is very, very important, friends, because you might be knowing an answer or there might be certain thoughts, ideas in your mind, but are you able to convey it to the assessor in a manner in which it makes sense? So articulation abilities are also very, very important. Moving on further, clarity of goals. Why MBA? This particular question you have to answer. So why MBA? Are you doing MBA because somebody had just suggested that for you? Because if you are doing MBA because somebody else has given you an idea about it, that's not what you want to do. Are you clear about it? Because it is a very, very demanding course, ladies and gentlemen. And you are going to enter after doing this course in a very competitive environment. So are you clear why you are doing an MBA? So that clarity of thought, that clarity of goals are also assessed during the interview time. problem solving skills. We might give you a situation. We might, based on maybe what your domain knowledge is, you might be given a real life situation, a current affairs situation. And we might ask you, okay, what's your opinion about it? And can you solve it? I mean, if you are, let's say, good in mathematics, somebody can even maybe give you a mathematical problem to address. So all depends upon what you tell is your strength of domain, because the people who are there sitting to assess you, they are multifaceted people. So they would not impose their knowledge on you, but would try to assess you based on your own knowledge. Moving on further, friends. We would also like to understand what has motivated you to be a part of a particular B school, why you have come for this selection process. What's your motivation and what are your ambitions? What do you want to do? So it basically further strengthens the clarity of goals that you have already shared with us. And we would like to further test whether whatever you are speaking, is it really showcasing us the real true self of yours? Then, friends, obviously, I don't have to tell you, whenever you go to a particular party, let's say a wedding or a birthday, how do you go? Do you go in your normal day-to-day clothes, or do you make a special effort to look good, look nice? Now, that's also very much required in an interview. An interview is assessing you on your professional appearance. Is your beard trimmed? Are you wearing formal clothes? Is your whole appearance, is your demeanor that of a professional? If not, it gives us a hint that maybe this is not what you want to do, and maybe somebody might be forcing you. So in a highly competitive world, why should we sacrifice a seat of someone who is really willing to be a part of a B school than someone who is being forced to be a part of a B school? So professional appearance is also something that you have to pay a considerable emphasis on. I mean, I'm not saying that, before an interview, you go to a beauty parlor or any such thing. That is not what I mean. But we all know what a decent professional look is, and we have to maintain that when we are coming for an interview. Moving on further, ladies and gentlemen, now I come to the last point of my talk, is how to prepare for the interviews. So when we talk about preparing for the interviews, we are trying to understand few things. Through interviews, what are you trying to communicate? An interview is not, many people think that interview is just talking. Interview starts as soon as you enter the interview room. The interviewer is observing you. And in case of online interviews, as soon as your image is beeping, the interviewer is noticing you. So you are communicating through your physical appearance. I mean, how well professionally you're presenting yourself. Then facial expression. Friends, I mean, whom do you like to interact with more? A person who has got a very strenuous look on the face, or a person who has got a pleasant disposition? I hope the answers of many of you would be pleasant disposition. That's exactly what we are also looking for, a person with a pleasant disposition. So a happy face is a more welcome face, more welcome sight. So see to it that you go for an interview in a pleasant frame of mind. Sitting posture. How well are you sitting? I mean, once I have been told to sit, am I just sitting, with a very relaxed demeanor? Because that doesn't sound very professional. We want to assess through your sitting posture as to how alert you are. I mean, you don't have to be intimidated. You don't have to be like, sitting in a very erect manner and with a tensed face. That's not what I mean. But your sitting posture should be a proper professional posture. That's what is expected from a B school candidate. Then your gestures and eye contact. Friends, when we talk to each other, we maintain a good eye contact, and our gestures basically enhance our level of communication. So how well are you able to do it? So giving an interview, besides knowledge, is also how you are presenting your knowledge. All these things are important and can basically make an exceptional impression about you vis-a-vis other people. Now, also, I would suggest some important and common questions which are part of various interviews are as follows. Many times an interview starts with this particular thing, which is describe yourself. Now, when we say describe yourself, we are not looking for what is there in your application because we already have it. Describing yourself is, can you go beyond the application? So we know what your course you have done. Can you tell about how was the experience like? What did you like doing about it? How has it benefited you? Okay, some personality traits that are not there in this application of yours, or if they are there, elaborate on them. So don't just say, okay, my name is this and this, my father does this. These information are already there. So go beyond that, ladies and gentlemen. Go beyond the anchor that you have already given to us. That anchor is the particular application which is already there with us. Then one very common question which you might come across is, how do you tackle your weakness? Now, many students who go to these training institutes, the institutes who coach you for a B-school interview, they tell you about set weaknesses. Okay, say that I am very hardworking, I cannot say no for an answer. Please understand the person who is taking your interview. They are experienced enough that they can see through it if you are just bluffing on this particular answer. So I would suggest, be honest. And to be honest, I would suggest from now itself, just analyze what your shortcomings are. Because all of us have our shortcomings. No one is perfect. So if you have your shortcomings and you know what your shortcomings are, and you are doing something to mitigate them, it shows you in a very positive light. So that's what is being assessed when we try to assess your particular weakness, or we want you to answer and explain what your weakness is and what are you doing about it. Next, obviously, a very important thing which I am repeating again is the domain knowledge. Friends, how do we ensure that this particular person is going to work hard in a demanding course? So we have only two things, two types of backgrounds which are presented to us. First and foremost is your educational background. Then second, it is all about your work experience, if you have any. So your work experience also can give us a domain knowledge. What exactly, are you clear about what you have done? If you do not have a work experience, how clear about you with what sort of knowledge you have? And again, I'm telling you such an answer, oh, it was too long, I've forgotten about it. That's really seen in a very negative manner, because it shows that the student, is not serious about, enhancing his or her further academic domain. So please revise and then come for the interview. Current affairs, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you are regularly reading question papers? So, not question papers, newspapers. Being a professor, I'm so involved in creating question papers that it's a slip of a tongue. So it's newspapers, magazines, anything that tells you about what's happening around you. And when I say what's happening around you, it's not only the FIFA Football Cup. It's what's happening in the business and economics domain. What are the current affairs in politics? What are the impact on business going to be? Okay, so why India's offtake of Russian oil has increased? How would the latest election results impacting the business environments of various states? All these things, I mean, are legible questions which can be asked from you. So current affair assessment is something which you should be really very well prepared. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, many times we come across your claims in the application that I am a very sincere and a hardworking student. I am an optimist. Now, these are very strong words, and you have to defend your words. So, when you state that I am a very sincere student, obviously we would like to know, how have you come up to that particular conclusion? What incidents in life have made you to basically come up to this particular conclusion that now I am a sincere student or I'm a hardworking student? So everything that you claim in your application, we would ask you to support it. So that's all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me half an hour of your precious time. I am now open for any queries or questions that you might have for me. Moderators, please let me know if there are any questions.
Yes, sir. So I think there are no questions as of now. So
Okay.
thank you, Nitin sir, for this insightful overview. I am sure that this session was very helpful for all the MBA aspirants out there.
Thank you very much, Atharva. Thank you, Team IMT, and all the participants who are there. I wish you all the very best. Do well, don't lose confidence, and a lot of opportunities are there for you. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
So we have some questions.
Oh, you have a question? Okay, all right. I'm still here. I can see one question. Sir, is there any direct interview option in IMT? I have a GMAT score of 620. Can I apply for IMT Ghaziabad? I think these things the admission team can address in a much better manner. That would they allow you to apply directly? But once, let's say, if you get a chance to apply directly, definitely whatever tips I've given you would be handy for you. If you talk about any mental health problem in interview, would it affect the selection? No, no, no. Please don't go by this misconception. Friends, our brain is just like any other organ. When, let's say, we have a problem in our hand or in our foot, and let's say I have a toothache, can I take a medication for that? Yes, I can. And will anybody feel bad about it? No. Being honest and telling that, okay, you had a nervous breakdown will never weaken your candidature. Indeed, the interviewer might be more interested. Okay, you faced that particular dilemma and how did you cope up with it? The fact that now you are sitting in front of the interviewers will show that, okay, a particular down point had come in your life, but you have been able to manage it. So I would not suggest that talking about mental health problem will weaken your candidature in any way. It should not. Any reasonable interviewer would definitely be more interested in knowing how you came out of it and how you're coping up with it than taking it as a weakness on your point. Okay, so I can see another thing. BBA students have scored 85 percentile in CAT exam and have good extracurricular activities. Is it possible for me to get called from IMT Ghaziabad? Depends upon how well are the other candidates. So at this stage, I cannot give you a definitive answer. You might get, you might not get, depending upon how strong the competition is.
Then the forms of IMT is blue.
I heard somebody saying something, but I couldn't get anything out of that. Okay, I have this. Karan Chauhan says, I did my graduation from a distance mode. Will this affect my selection process? Karan, that depends upon why did you do it from distance mode and what have you done. The best judge at would be the interviewer who would determine whether it can be an impediment or not. Per se, I mean, I don't think that we disqualify people who have done distance graduation. Any other question? Moderator, if there are no questions, can we call it an off?
So there are no other questions. Other questions are admissions based. And,
okay. Fine. So thank you very much, all the organizers, and all the best to the students who are who have attended this particular talk. I'll be leaving this Zoom talk. Thank you. Goodbye.